All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today we're going to be looking at two of the three big, um, basically broad stripes of economy. There's three types. We're going to look at two of them today. Okay. And that's traditional and command. Okay. So, let's go ahead and look at your objectives. So, we're going to analyze how a traditional economy could work during bad times. We're examining the pros and cons of a command economy. And then at the very end, create an argument on which of the two is better, a command or a traditional type of economy. Okay. Now, here is your warm up picture. Now, I originally was going to give you another warm up picture, but um, there's some incidents that happened, and I wasn't able to find another suitable one that was better. So I just went with this one. All right. Now, my question is asking you of the three options you see there, which one would you do? So you see this big wave that says economy, you know, it's going to be, you know, as you can tell, what's going to happen with this big wave. Here you can see already. So, what option would you choose and why? Would you choose option one, which is flee? Would you choose option B, stand there and just take it, or option three, learn to surf? And again, do you think there's enough time, for that type of stuff? So, which one would you choose and why? Okay. So, just a little fun. Okay. So, pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. So, in economics, it's an organized way to provide for the wants and needs of the people. We've talked about what wants and needs are. Okay. The thing is, governments play a role in this as well, you know, and we talked about a little about this in government class. Okay, we talked just a little bit about the type of how economics is, in a sense, tied in with government. Now, since the dawn of time, there's basically been three types of economies: traditional, command, and market. We're going to look at traditional command today. Okay, now let's start with traditional. Okay, now what does it mean? It comes from rituals, habits, and customs, things that you're used to, So, like, a great example would be like Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. Every year, there's something you and your family might usually do, which whether it's, sit down, have turkey, watch the football game, things like that, That's a tradition, a ritual, you know if all the time when you come home, you put your keys down, you take off your shoes, put your backpack down, and you play game for an hour. You do that every day the same way. That's a habit. That's a ritual that you do. Okay. The thing is, though, a lot of times when you have traditions and rituals, you're not free to make decisions based on what you want or what you would like to have. It's kind of just like it's tradition, just something you do the same way every time. And the thing is, typically when it comes to the government that has this type of traditional economy, the roles are decided by the elders. Now let's look at the pros and cons of having a traditional economy. Well, one of the good things about it is that everyone knows their role. All right, kind of like I was talking about with Thanksgiving. If you know your mom's gonna make the turkey, your grandma's gonna be making dessert, your aunt's gonna be make some sides. You know, everyone has their job to do. You know, the guys, in the family will sit around the TV, watch football, whatever it may be. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. And it's because of that, those people who do those jobs, They know what to make and how to make it. Your mom, who if she makes the turkey since you were, I mean, since you far back you can remember, and you're already 17, 18 years old, she knows how to make a turkey. She knows what spices to do, how long to keep it, and put it in the oven and things like that. And you know, hey, she's been doing it for as long as you've been alive. So she knows what to make, how much to make, how to prepare it, things like that. The other good thing, though, it dictates how people live their lives. So there's no surprises. There's no nothing like, oh my God, I didn't know this was going to happen. You already know because you do the same thing over and over and over again. Okay. Now, here are the bad things about a traditional economy: no new ideas, because new ideas break the rhythm that's already been established and made. You know, so let's say again, going back to like Thanksgiving, if you and your all the guys, watch football, and then the girls are the one cooking, you know, then if all of a sudden someone says, "Hey, why don't the guys barbecue, and the girls kick back and relax?" Now, some of the girls will be like, "Hey, that's a great idea." But then the guys are gonna be like, "No, no, we watch football during Thanksgiving. No, no, we're not gonna be barbecuing unless we could bring the big screen TV out to the to where the grill is and things like that." So a new idea kind of throws things off. It throws off the norm, you know? And again, with that being done, usually there's a punishment for those who try to do something new, who try to bring in new ideas and concepts. They're looked at like, why are you trying to ruin a good thing? Why are you trying to mess everything up for? You know? So they're kind of shunned and punished for thinking we should try something new. The other thing, though, too, it lowers the living standards. You know, um, like if you again do the same thing every day, same thing, you're not really experiencing and getting much out of life because you're constantly doing the same thing over and over and over again. So if you don't expand, try new things, go off and say, you know what, instead of coming home and playing a game for an hour, I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends for an hour. You know, um, go see a movie at the theater instead of just playing games. You know, you you're expanding, you're branching out. You know, you're doing something else. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, yeah, it's you're not really experiencing life, really. You know. So, a command economy. This is where the needs, goals, and production quotas for major industries is set by the government. The government controls it all. Now, thing is, money can be shifted from consumer goods to national defense and things like that with no problem. You know, if the government needs to take care of something, they can easily get that done because, again, they control everything. Okay. Now, let's look at the pros and cons. So, the good things, the pros, again, they can shift directions of resources in a short amount of time. So, let's say there um, a hospital collapses, right? Right? Let's say hospital collapses, nobody inside was hurt, but they need to rebuild a hospital quick, fast, in a hurry. Well, if they're building a mall and a new school and they're like, "Hey, we need to rebuild this hospital," they can get those people, those materials to build the mall and the school. They can get that all to the new site for the hospital within a couple days and get that thing built quickly. You know, they don't have to worry about like, oh well, this mall needs to be done. We have a date that's going to be released. It's going to be open. No, none of that. Say they, oh, we told these people around the neighborhood that the school was going to be open on this time. No, no, we're stopping that. We're focusing on the hospital now. They can do that. Okay. The other thing is, though, too, because the government controls everything, they make sure that everyone has a job. Okay. Whether you want it or not, everyone has a job. And you basically, if like you're one of those people like, I don't want a job, I don't want a job. Well, guess what? You're going to get the worst type of jobs, which is usually out in the fields, doing field work, things like that. Now, if you're a person who's like, yeah, I'll take what job you can give me a job, then chances are you're going to be working in the industry, you know, factories, building stuff, making something, you know, things like that. Okay. So everyone has a job. The other thing is the health and public services are available to everyone at little to no cost. Because remember, they want people to be working, they want things to be built, things to be done. So if someone is sick and illnesses spread, right? They don't want that person at work. They're going to want them to be taken care of. They want you to go see a doctor, get some antibiotics, get a shot, whatever you need, you know. And it might not cost you a thing. If it does, it's going to be very, very little because the government wants you back on your feet, healthy and ready to work. Okay, so they make sure you're good. Now, I know to a lot of people that sounds great. Heck yeah, free, basically healthcare and stuff like that. Okay, but now we're going to talk about the cost, the bad things about command economy. It's not designed to meet the needs of the consumers. So let's say you're like, oh man, I want to get a new pair of shoes, new pair of this, that. Um, we don't have enough. You're gonna have to take what we give you. Well, I need this stuff. Yeah, we get you, but so does a lot of other people need this stuff. And since they decide who gets what, your needs are not going to be met, more than likely. Workers are given incentives to work hard. Now, here in this country, if you work hard, sometimes your bosses take notice and will say, hey, you know what? You'll get a raise. We'll give you an incentive. Some places, if you work at the place, if you sell enough of a product, whether it's cars or whatever, um, you get a little bonus, an incentive to, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Some people get percentages, of what they sell, you know. But in this type of economy, no, you're seen as, hey, that was your job. You sold that car. You sold this product. Good job. You did what you're supposed to. Okay. Um, the other thing is large decisions making major bureaucracy. So the government again decides where things happen. Not people, not the individual, not the owner of a company. No, because the owner of a company, there's no such thing. It's the government that controls all that stuff. And they decide where things go. Okay. Um, Another thing is they don't have the flexibility to deal with small things. Okay. They look at the big picture and say, okay, this is a problem like the hospital being torn down. We need to fix that. But if it's something small like, hey, um, we need to fix this, wall in this building, things like that. Well, is it going to cause any big problem? Well, no, but eventually it will. Well, we'll worry about that then. So they don't look at they just look at once the big stuff. They don't look at the minor things, day to day problems. They don't look at that stuff. They're looking at the big things, what the big problem is, you know, the other things, which will eventually get to big things. They don't look at that until it gets big and needs attention. Okay. And the thing is, people with new or unique ideas don't get ahead. Again, same thing with the incentives. Rewards are rare. So let's say you're working for a company and you find a cure for cancer, right? In this country, you would be, I mean, just making money. Pharmaceutical companies will come after you saying, hey, we want your thing, whatever you did, you know. If you work for a company, they'll probably, give you a big old promotion and stuff like that. But in this type of um, command economy, they say, no, again, you did your job. You were paid to do certain thing. You did it. Good job. That's it. You get a clap on the back, and that's it. Go back to work now. So, yeah, not many rewards. All right, so here's my question to you. Of the two economies we talked about, traditional and command, which one do you think is better? The one where you basically do the same thing over and over and over again, or the one where the government basically controls everything and you don't really progress? Now, I had a student a couple years ago tell me these both suck. Yeah, yeah, they do. But here's the thing, not every decision in life is going to be, peaches and roses. Sometimes you're going to come across a situation where you're like, I don't like either one of these decisions, but you got to pick one. And you have to basically pick which poison is less likely to kill you, you know? Which pile of crap doesn't smell as bad, you know? That's life, okay? Just got to pick one and tell me why. Why does this one doesn't this bad nasty decision doesn't smell as bad as this one? Okay? So explain, okay? So once you finish this question, you're done with this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay. Um, with that being said, guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later.